Monsters, spooks, and demons.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thriving in Chaos. As always, I am your host, Rebel Phoenix. With me in the studio is Stella Rune. Hey,
Hey,
hey, how you doing?
good. How are you?
I'm great, but I'm
Yeah.
so taken aback by this weather that we've been having.
Yeah. What's it like where you are?
It's bipolar. Yeah. Um, it's a different season every time we open the door. So in the morning time, it's spring. Summer's in the afternoons. We got fall in the evenings, winter overnight. Today it was 80. Tomorrow it's snowing. Mother Nature doesn't know if she wants to laugh or cry.
Fair enough.
Gotta love it. And it is going to be the season of the sickness. It's already starting.
Everybody's sick here.
Oh,
Everybody's been
yes.
like in and out of sickness. One of us had the flu. The other one's got, some kind of cough thing happening right now. That's how it goes.
It is. It is. And what happened to the groundhog predicting 6 more weeks of winter, cuz it pretty much started spring immediately. Or are we having some weird crossover sprinter?
Who knows? Who knows? All I know is I have the same weather here, and it was great today, and tomorrow's probably going to be probably the same. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be a killer season. Yeah, a killer season. Speaking of killers, guess who our guest is today?
Who is it?
We are blessed with another actor from the upcoming film Killer Pizza. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Nate Oliver.
Hello,
Hi.
ladies. Hi, good to see you.
You too.
How you doing? Where are you from? What's the weather like up there? Tell us all about it.
I am from Buffalo, New York, born and raised for all my life, and that is currently home. And as most people know about Buffalo, we get bombarded by lake effect snow, but oddly enough, it has been blue skies all day today and high 50s. So we'll definitely take it because, as we often say in Buffalo, it's been known to snow on Mother's Day, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. So
Nice.
it's been pretty decent.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say we usually get snow late February, mid-March at the latest, and so far so good. So I'm gonna take it. But we did have some snow. We actually had snow this year. Um like and a good amount of it too for it to be as nice as it is right now.
Oh yeah, we got cream down here in West Virginia. I mean, at one point we had like 2 feet.
It gets bad in Buffalo because we do get the lake effect snow being so close to Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. It just scoops it up and dumps it down on the city. So the best thing that can happen is for the lakes to freeze over, and then it's more just that winter chill. So we didn't get hit too heavy with snow this year, at least throughout the winter. But like I said, it can snow well into April, and it has snowed in May even. So hoping, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But today was actually a pretty gorgeous day for Buffalo.
Yeah, hopefully.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the only state I've ever lived in where I can turn the corner into a full-on blizzard after leaving my house in 75-degree weather. It's happened to me twice.
I believe it.
We say wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like that this second, but
yeah, I'm telling you, Mother Nature don't know if she want to laugh or cry at us. Hell, at this point, I think she's.
You might be muted, Rebel.
My bad, y'all.
Anyway, that happens all the time.
Nate, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and some of the movies you've been in? I know you're going to be in the upcoming film Killer Pizza. Have you done anything else recently?
Yeah, actually, I have. So I'm relatively new to the movie business. I I guess you could say my 9 to 5 job is I work at a university. I work at the University of Buffalo in their campus living department, and I had spent a lot of years working in women's professional ice hockey. I was a general manager for former team, the Buffalo Buttes, for would have been 5 seasons before our league folded, but I've been working in film for about 2 years now, mostly in independent films. But I just got back to Buffalo from being in Los Angeles for 3 weeks, shooting a movie out there called Catnip. It will actually be in theaters come Christmas time, and got to
Ooh,
work with,
yay.
yeah, it's kind of it's a throwback to 1980s horror movies. We're calling it a Gremlins for grown-ups. And
cool.
Chevy
Can't
Chase,
wait.
Chevy Chase was in it, Bruce Dern, Joey Lauren Adams. So that was a lot of
Oh,
fun. So
cool.
that was the most recent thing that I've done. And yeah, definitely super excited for Killer Pizza, especially because I don't know if you can see I'm wearing my Killer Pizza cast member.
Yay.
I love it.
I love it.
Yes, it's very comfortable. I wear it all the time. And yeah, I would say I'm super excited about it because it's actually being filmed right in my own backyard here in Buffalo, and I believe also in Rochester as well too. And kind of, I don't know how often that happens for a smaller city like Buffalo to have a movie where the filmmakers are actually from the Western New York area. So definitely excited for what's coming up in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was definitely about to ask, like, who's the most famous person you've met so far as an actor?
It would probably have to be Chevy Chase.
I knew it.
Yeah, and it was cool because I got to work as I have an acting role in the movie, and I also was one of the associate producers. But on set, I guess I got to help with the art department and was an
Very
assistant
cool.
props master. Yeah, so I
Very cool.
got to work pretty closely with Chevy Chase and a number of the other cast members. That was really cool because it's very much an ensemble cast. And it was actually a good friend of mine who's an actress herself that got me involved in the project. A lady by the name of Tiffany Helm, who did a lot of horror movies and horror themed, not even just horror movies, but was known mainly for Friday the 13th Part 5. But she did a lot of work in the 80s, and she was in the movie as well too. So ensemble casts are really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's pretty cool. My husband is a giant fan, like I'm talking obsessed with family National Lampoon's Family Vacation and Christmas Vacation is like a staple in our house, must watch every Christmas at least 1,000 times, but we're not doing it right. And our favorite Christmas tree ornament is the one that says, "Merry Christmas, shitter's full."
Yeah, it's
Best part of the whole movie.
such a classic line that everybody knows. Yeah, I mean, all the movies that you just mentioned certainly classics, and at least for me, although I wasn't born at the time, but 1975 to 1980 Saturday Night Live, I think is just the very best of, in my personal opinion, of the years of Saturday Night Live. And you look at that first season that they did with Chevy, and I would say his humor is very much the same as what it was back then.
That's fantastic.
Hasn't really changed a bit.
Yeah. I mean, so there are a lot of rumors that he's not super nice to people, but I find that like if I were a celebrity, especially of that caliber who's been around so long, I probably wouldn't be super nice either, just because you probably get tired of people like recognizing you and talking to you. But I feel like just being able to like be present during his like sense of humor just kind of unrolling itself in front of you has got to be cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's very, in a good way, very unapologetically himself. Like
Yeah.
he is what he is.
Yeah.
And while I'd heard those things as well too, definitely, I think he had a lot of fun on set. And just was great to be around, very engaging. He just enjoyed it. And that was cool to see. It's cool to see, I guess, what some would arguably would consider an American icon, certainly a comedy icon, and that was really special. But it's getting back to what you're asking about my involvement with it. One of the things that was especially cool for me is, I mentioned Tiffany Helm, and she's a good friend of mine, and she did Friday the 13th Part 5. She was in 21 Jump Street, the TV show, and Freddy's Nightmares, and she did a
Oh,
lot
I'm
of stuff.
jealous. That means she got to meet Johnny Depp.
She did. She got to work with Johnny Depp.
Oh,
Yeah, and you can actually
I'm so
find the
mad.
episode. Like if you look it up on YouTube, I think it's on YouTube, but it's definitely available that you can find her in it. But I mentioned my hockey team, and when our league folded, I was in a pretty dark place, and I was really looking for some way to find myself again and find my passion. And Tiff really helped me with that, with just getting me involved in film and helping me find some opportunities. And it's blossomed into this. It's been wonderful.
That is really cool. And it's really nice that you like had kind of an in with a friend who was able to kind of just involve you in like some kind of way. So I think that that's really important. And I love that you're doing projects together. That's really
Yeah,
cool. It's not
Yeah.
just like her being like, "Hey, you should get into this." Like you're doing it together, which I think is really important when you're friends with someone,
yeah.
especially coming out of a dark place like that.
Yeah, I mean, she really believed in me, and in many ways, it kind of fell into my lap in that regard. But I think that that's just what life is about in general. Is what it should be about, at least doing what you can for others and helping
Mhm.
somebody who's maybe feeling down or having a rough time. And she connected me with our director, Niall Garcia, and we took a liking to each other right off the bat. He got me involved as an associate producer, and then. He had me audition for a part, and he, for whatever reason, he saw something in me and liked me, and I ended up playing a paramedic in the film, and have some speaking lines on camera. And that was definitely I don't want to say out of my element, but something new for me, but very exciting. And I felt like I really nailed it, so I was proud of myself, and I had fun in the process.
That's awesome. Yeah, you should definitely be proud of yourself for something like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially going out of your comfort zone and doing something you're not used to doing.
Yeah.
But like, so I totally did scope out your IMDb. Because I try to do that anytime I'm seeing, we're talking to somebody. But I've seen you've been an actor in a couple of different things. But mostly it looks like you get involved with like producing. Do you prefer producing to acting?
Well, it's funny. Like I didn't, as you kind of would figure from what I shared in my background, I didn't really have any formal training in the film industry, whether it was an actor or just growing up through the business. I felt that I have a lot of management experience, whether it be in hockey or whether it be at work at the university. So I figured, all right, from the production piece of it, I know how to manage large groups and be involved with people, and I felt like that's really where I could maybe dip my toes, so to speak, and first get my comfort. But I'll tell you, with the handful of acting roles that I've done, and they've been relatively minor, but I definitely got an itch for it. I was really excited about what I was able to do with Catnip. I did a remote role for a movie called Only Fangs, which is
Mhm.
it's a vampire comedy movie, and a good friend of mine, Kansas Bowling, is in it. Uh,
Oh no.
Killer Pizza. Uh, the great thing with that is that I had talked with Anthony very early on, and he, I told him, like, I'm pretty new to this, like, and he's like, no, I think this would be great opportunity for you to, if you haven't really acted before, to get your feet wet and feel comfortable with it. And I'm excited for that too. So good things keep happening to me in that regard, and I'm finding more of an affinity for acting. But I do also love the production piece of it, because I love working with people.
Yeah, that's actually really
The
cool.
the only thing about people is, for as many that love you, that's how many also hate you. And it doesn't matter what you are, who you are, what you're doing. Like, I watch YouTube shorts a lot. I have
Mhm.
nothing better to do with my life except deal with YouTube. But I think is it Jimmy Kimmel, maybe? Jimmy Kimmel? that he started doing a segment on his talk show where people, like celebrities, read mean tweets about themselves.
Yep.
And, some of them are hilarious, like the one that called Gwyneth Paltrow Big Bird, or the one that told not Jennifer Lawrence, Scarlett Johansson, that they hate all white people because of her.
Oh my
Some
God.
of them are funny, but some of them are really downright mean for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
People are going to be hateful regardless of what you do, so you might as well do what makes you happy.
I mean, maybe that's why a lot of these celebrities hate their fans and don't want anything to do with them like that, because they get tired of all the negativity. I mean, my God, if they fart in public, we find out about it, and then we got to read how it smelled, who made a face about it, how many times it's happened in their lifetime. Like, come on,
That's only
guys.
if you're like super A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, if Brad Pitt farts, we're gonna know. Just saying.
We don't need to know.
We don't need to know. We don't need to know.
But we'll know.
But we're going to.
This one time.
Just like I know another person that gets criticized a lot is Taylor Swift, especially for like
that
her
poor girl.
relationships. The thing is, if she wasn't famous, she would just be doing normal person shit.
Exactly. She'd be doing what
we
everybody
all
else does.
date around. We all, not every guy you date is the one. Not
Right.
every girl you date is the one.
Yeah.
So you're going to have multiple people in your life to figure out who the one is. But for some reason, she gets hated on for it while the rest of us get praised. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you had this many guys? Oh, you've been with this many girls? Okay, you're top dog. You're this, you're that." But she's like, "Oh my God, you're the biggest slut in the world, and you're this, that, and the other." Like, come on, guys, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the part of fame that it's just not interesting.
No, I don't particularly care for it either. I mean, that's one thing I do not miss from hockey is having to have a presence on Twitter or X, because people, you have to have some thick skin, and sometimes people just try to be hurtful and would never say it to your face if you met in person, but it can be pretty vile.
It's so much easier to hide behind a keyboard. I mean, we have negative comments all the time. Like, some of them are funny, like the one on our YouTube that absolutely did not watch the show that she was criticizing, and basically told us that we talk about nothing in depth when literally the entire conversation we had was generational trauma, parenting, how to heal, and different actual topics that were very deep. Yeah. So I'm like, the fact that you can watch a 30-second clip and think you know everything about this show is funny to me, especially because, I got hated on because in one of our previous episodes, one of the clips that generated was like 30 seconds of me making fun of people. They're like, "Oh, 1 in 4 people is a serial killer," and this, that, and the other. You probably walk past 68 of them every day.
Yeah.
5 seconds after that clip aired. That's not true. That's not true. We're all stupider for listening to you. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Obviously, sarcasm went over your head, but I hate to break to you, I'm a Capricorn. Sarcasm's the only language I speak fluently, guys. You're going to have to learn how to keep up if you're going to watch the show.
Yeah. Well, and if people watch the show enough, they'll understand like your humor and stuff too. But I mentioned that when I posted it to Spotify, I actually said, note, we understand that the statistic is not the real statistic. And I was like, here's the actual statistic, just so you know, which is you're on average, you walk past like 36 murderers in your lifetime. It's just like, we understand, like it was sarcasm.
Obviously I was embellishing. It was meant to be sarcastic and
you stretched it a little too far.
I guess so. But you know what? I'll just be like Taylor Swift in that one song where she said she bent the truth too far tonight.
Yeah.
High infidelity.
Oh, it's just funny.
But I mean, some of the things that they come up with is hilarious to me.
It
But
is, and people take things too. I don't know. They get on their high horse or whatever, and it's really not that hard just to be kind to people.
Yeah.
Like, just be kind. If something's not for you, then just ignore it or don't tune
Yeah.
in or whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're the ones that you have a great show, and the people
Thank you.
that are may throw like some shade their way. Well, I'm sure they don't have a show. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just it's
Well, whatever it
don't
is, I
be
hope they find peace.
Yes, I would hope
it's
so too.
okay. I will eventually convert the entire world to rebelism. It's okay. I will gain my following.
One way or another.
My people are out there.
They are. They are.
Come on, rebel rousers, let's unite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's one of the joys of life is when you find people that see the world through a similar lens as you, or see the same sort of truths that you see, and maybe I don't know, maybe in a weird way, that's why we need people that are nasty or rotten, is because when you see someone who's genuine and good and kind, it maybe gives you that makes it that much more impactful. I don't know, just
Yeah.
my 2 cents.
No, that
Have
makes
you
sense. Like, it helps. It helps to see you kind of see the light because there's those people who kind of try to overshadow it. The good
have
people will
you
stick
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly,
have you
exactly.
had any have you had any funny criticism like that? Where people just
Not
make negative comments that make absolutely no sense?
Oh yes, in especially in hockey. Like I haven't really had that happen. Knock on wood, I haven't really had that happen in filmmaking. But it definitely happens in hockey. There's always somebody that thinks they could manage the team
Oh,
better, or they think that you overpaid for a certain player. Why didn't you get this player? Why didn't you sign him for 2 years instead of 1 year? Or why didn't you re-sign them? There's a lot of those, for lack of better words, armchair quarterbacks or armchair
oh,
general
yes.
managers. And people. And the funny thing
Gotta
is
love the
that
backseat drivers.
Yeah.
exactly, and they think that they're being very I don't know, accurate with what they're saying, or that they're giving you an epiphany that maybe you didn't realize by calling something out, when most of the time they don't know the backstory or anything that goes on behind the scenes. And
The inner workings. Yeah.
I
yes,
love when they think they speak for everyone.
yes. But fortunately, fortunately though, I think that was another thing too, is that while there were critics out there, they were few and far in between, and a lot of people were very supportive as well too. So I tried to, as like you would in life, you just try to look the other way, or just ignore the people that are maybe throwing some shade your way, and just do the best that you
Yeah.
America.
can.
Yeah. I actually think it's probably in your case, it's probably beneficial that you come from kind of almost like the sports world, so it's kind of like the entertainment world, just kind of in a different aspect. So it's
Yes.
good. So if you do something and you do get that criticism, it's not you're so used to it at this point. Like you're just used to being in the public eye, so to speak. Like you might have not been on the team, but you're the manager, so you have a heavy vested interest in it. So you understand what it's like to actually have those um, basically like reviews from wannabe experts.
Yeah. Yeah, and you roll with the punches, like and at the end of the day, I know the people that love me in life and care for me, and
Yes.
believe in what I'm doing, and want to see me have success, and the ones that know the real story, and then those are the people that you stick to in life, and value their opinions and advice, where necessary.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
If you could film a movie with any actor, any celebrities, past, present, who would it be?
Hmm. That is an excellent question. Um,
We know Stella's obsessed with Tim Curry.
really, I
Oh my
that
god, I love Tim Curry.
yeah.
I might be a little obsessed between Jeremy London and Johnny Depp and Channing Tatum. A little Channing Tatum on the side wouldn't hurt.
No, you definitely named some really good ones, especially like Tim Curry. I grew up loving him too. I mean, the first movie I saw where I'm like, this guy's really something special was Clue. I remember watching Clue
Mhm.
when I was about 8 years old, and it's my favorite board game. but
Me
seeing
too.
really okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
God, yeah. That
Same.
and 13 Dead End Drive. 13 Dead End Drive was
Oh
always good
gosh,
too.
I remember that. I remember getting
Uh-huh.
that for Christmas one year.
Didn't play that one.
I got it for my kids because I was like, I will win every time.
That is a classic too, and
Yes. Oh,
I think if depending on when you grew up, like people do definitely recall that game. But yeah, Tim Curry. I mean, and then you look at like Legend and Home Alone 2,
mhm.
like and of course Rocky Horror,
Oh,
but phenomenal. But I don't know. Getting back to your
That's
question,
Stella's favorite movie.
it is.
is it really
Yes.
Rocky
Oh my God.
Horror?
Oh yes. I just love everything about it. I could
Yeah.
go in into detail, but anyways, keep going. It's yeah.
No, it's
I totally convinced her to go to a whole ass convention with me just because Barry Bostwick's going to be there.
Oh, wow. Like you're going to be going to it, or you did go?
We're going to.
We're going. It's in October.
Oh, where is it going to be?
I think it's Bowling Green, Kentucky. Actually,
Okay.
Is that Scarefest? Yeah, Scarefest in
it's
Oh, yeah.
Scarefest in Kentucky.
I went to a Monster Mania con a couple years back and actually met Tim Curry. So
Oh,
my
wow.
like I can die anytime now. It's fine.
Yeah, and that was life changing. Would it be fair to
Oh,
say?
yeah. Well, I was like, "Hi, how are you?" And he was like, "I'm fine. How are you?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And I totally
I'm dead.
fangirled.
I mean, come this October, I'm going to meet like 90% of my heroes in the horror community, so I'll be able to die happy after that. Just saying.
That's awesome. Who in particular
October.
though? Anybody? There you
Oh,
got
God.
in for anybody in particular?
There's so many. I know some of the ones that I'm really excited to see at the convention are Robert Englund, Lynn Shay, Heather Langenkamp, Jeffrey
Mhm.
Combs, Kane Hodder,
Oh wow.
Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many there. Like I can't even name them all. But like Barry Bostwick's going to be there also.
Juliette Lewis is going to be there.
Juliette Lewis.
Oh.
I cannot wait to meet her from Yellow
Oh.
Jackets.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'm bringing a whole bunch of business cards and I'm just handing them out to everybody I see. Like,
Please
watch
come
my
talk to
show or be on it. Here you go.
Never hurts to ask. Never
Yeah.
ever hurts to ask. Yeah, and you
What is
should.
For every 50 no's, you get one yes.
That I believe that.
Also,
Yeah.
not a real statistic.
No,
Right.
but it's got to be pretty darn close.
Hey,
It's
we
got-
can always use the Quagmire method. 99 no's and a yes is still a yes.
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah,
Still
as
yes.
long as you get one, just takes one, right? It opens up the floodgates after that.
Exactly.
But I don't know. So I got to get back to your question though. So
I suppose.
for an actress, I love. Do you know Marianne Cotillard, the French actress? She was in. She's done a bunch of. She was in Big Fish with Ewan McGregor. She was in
That's one of my favorite movies too.
Yes, yeah. She's a French
I
actress,
have not
but
seen that one.
yeah, you would know her. She was in what was it was the third Batman movie in the trilogy. Which was the third one? Dark Knight Rises, I think.
Maybe. I never know.
Let's see. There was wait. There's Batman Begins, and then Dark Knight Rises, and then the one with the Catwoman.
Yeah, so she's in the
I
one
can't remember which one that was called.
I'm looking it up
Right.
right now because I have to know. But I know exactly. I just saw her picture. I know exactly who you're talking about. She's in so
Yes.
many things.
Yes, she's a phenomenal actress. She did win an Academy
Oh, she was in
Award.
Inception.
Yes, yep.
Dark
she
Knight
was.
Didn't
Rises.
see
It's
that
Dark Knight
either.
Rises.
Yep.
I did see Dark Knight Rises though.
Yeah,
You have to see Inception. It's so good. It's confusing at first, but it's so good.
yeah, and she's excellent in that. But she's probably, I mean, one of my favorite actresses. And then if you want to include an actor, I don't think either of you would be surprised by this, but gotta love Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think the
Really?
first thing I ever saw him in was Dracula.
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
I
and he's-
rewatched Dracula as an adult, and it's even better when you're a grown up.
Yes, I would
I
agree.
think I understand it better as a grown up.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, similar story, but Nosferatu. Did you see that? The one
Yes.
that came out recently with Lily Rose Depp, and that was really good. She was excellent in that. But I would pick those two, Marion Cotillard and Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Six and
I
six.
like that. Yeah.
Decent picks. We know Stella's dream team would be Tim Curry, with a side of Tim Curry and a little extra Tim Curry
A
on
little more
top.
Tim Curry. You can't
She
do.
could
I
just
mean,
she would love to be in a room full of Tim Currys. Like
you
every
could add
role
an
the
Oliver
man.
Platt too. I like Oliver Platt too.
Okay,
Yeah, Oliver Platt's
that
really
one
good.
you and I might have to fight over. Tim
Love
Curry, I'm
him.
gonna let you have Tim Curry, but Oliver Platt, we might have
You
to
can
share.
pry. You can pry Tim Curry out of my cold dead hands. Thank you very much.
I said I'm gonna let you have Tim Curry, but we gonna share Oliver Platt though.
There's no question about Tim Curry. That's what I know. But we can share Oliver Platt. That's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, that Three Musketeers movie that they made,
Yes.
it's the best one, and it's just like Tim Curry as Cardinal Richelieu, and then just like Kiefer Sutherland and Oliver Platt and Charlie Sheen even, and then like Chris O'Donnell. It's just like what a cast! It was so perfect, and for the 90s.
I
So
know, so much eye candy the
oh.
entire movie. Like, I remember being a preteen watching that and just drooling the whole time between Kiefer and Chris O'Donnell.
Chris
And then
O'Donnell. Yeah.
Oliver Platt's personality. Like, I just love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Teenage me just attracted to Oliver Platt's personality. Yeah, it's fine.
You know, it's a really
Although-
good Tim Curry movie, but it's not really well known. Have you ever seen Times Square?
No.
You
I
got to
have
check
not.
that out. It's, I want to say early 80s, maybe 80, 81, or maybe even late 70s, but he plays a DJ in it, and that's really good too. It's got a lot of great music.
Be still my heart. There's somebody out in the world that knows Tim Curry more than Stella?
No, not more. I just happen to know the movie, and you got to check it. If you love Tim Curry, you definitely want to check it out.
I haven't seen all of his things. I just love him. Like, and I will watch anything he's in, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I
Yes.
actually read an article where he had mentioned he really liked this movie that had Donald Sutherland in it. I think it was Donald Sutherland. But it was Don't Look Now, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
And I was like, I watched it and I was like, I see why he likes this so much.
Yeah, with Julie Christie and I'm not gonna, obviously we don't want to give the film away, but that's got some startling scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. So and it's obviously an older movie. So like definitely if anybody out there wants to pick up a good movie, that is one to watch. Like it's really good.
Yeah. I see that one on a lot of YouTubes.
Yeah.
I'm very much an old soul, so I like a lot of the older horror movies.
Yeah. Oh, same. I
Yeah.
prefer older
Same.
ones. I mean, like the ones that come out now are fine. And they're entertaining. So like
Some of
I will
them.
watch anything. I mean, even if they're bad, they're still entertaining at some for me at least.
Yeah.
Like I love
don't
an
know.
older
I've
horror movie.
had
It's
a
the
few that put
psychological
me to
piece of it.
sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had some do that too, but you know, it's worth it. It's fine. Sometimes you need a good nap.
Okay. Speaking of good naps, what is a movie that everyone, including critics, loves, but you hate? For me, It Follows. Hate that fucking movie. Hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And like, I had such high hopes for it, but like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the atmosphere of it or the fact that, the main actress, Micah Monroe, every movie I see her in, she always looks super constipated. She has no emotional range. It's very monotone. So like, it's just not doing it for me.
You know what? I don't know that it's the one that I'll pick, and I don't know that it's like a widely known movie, but there was a movie that came out in the late 90s called Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. And
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater, and a lot of people do like the movie. They like the other films that the director had done, and I just did not care for it. I couldn't get behind it. I still don't desire to see it. It just didn't do it for me. It would probably have to be that. There's a lot of other movies that I don't particularly like, but in terms of ones that are well received, that might be the one for me, Snake Eyes. I don't see what the big deal is.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know that I have one that I know that like critics really liked that I didn't like. I just know in my age group at the time it came out, everybody really loved Swim Fan and I hated it. But that's the only one that comes to mind. And I hate Erica Christensen. I'm sure she's a lovely person. And like not everything she does sucks. It's just I just can't stand her acting. And I just don't like her
I
at all.
actually watched her win Ninja Warrior the other day.
Yeah, I'm sure she's great. And I'm sure she's not a terrible actress. There's something about her I just don't like. And I
See, I
hate
do
that
like
because
her.
she seems lovely. I just
I do
can't get
like
behind
her.
it.
She's definitely
Although,
unsettling in Swim Fan too. I mean, I know she's
Yeah.
supposed to be, and that's the character, but there's just like, and maybe it's her acting, I don't know, but there's a little bit of an edge to it that I don't know, makes it that much more grating.
Yeah. And I'm like, just like, you know what? I can just leave now. It's
I
fine.
mean, maybe I just like her because Swim Fan is kind of my life story, you know? I like to stalk people and pretend they love me and they know it. You love me. You know, going back to Nicolas Cage, another movie that he really got criticized for recently was Renfield. And I thought that movie was great.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the one that he got praised for was Longlegs, and I thought that movie sucked.
I
That's
really want to
another
go watch
one.
that just because I know you said it was
Oh,
terrible.
it is, girl. It is so fucking terrible. And again, Micah Monroe, Miss Constipation, is in it, being even more constipated than normal. But like, I mean, I'm not really going to spoil anything, but one of the main reasons I didn't like it was, you know, I get that it's kind of a culty type vibe movie, obviously, but like the way they made Nicolas Cage in that movie, it was like they went so far over the top to make him psychotic that like it basically just made him look like a psychotic drag queen to me. Like the way he looks in that movie, he looks like an old lady that and talks very high pitched and makes absolutely no sense.
I really
So
need to go watch this now.
I completely hated it because it made no sense from start to finish to me. Like I get parts of it, but most of it is just like, why did you even make this? Who thought this was a good idea? More importantly, how much did you pay Nicolas Cage for this role? Because damn.
Was it enough?
I
And I
don't
think
know.
I think he did it as more like a favor or something like that. Like there is a backstory to it as to how he got involved with it. And I think
I bet he
he
regrets
said
it.
something like, yeah, read up on it. I don't remember, I don't want to speak out of turn, but there's definitely like a backstory as to how he got involved and why he was doing the role and everything like that.
You know what I love about Nicolas Cage though, and I don't know how true this is either. Again, I'm gonna totally speak out of turn. So one of us is willing to do it. But actually I heard that he had some like money issues and stuff because I know that happens often in Hollywood. But he had these money issues, but then after that, instead of like, getting further in the hole and stuff, he decided to take whatever roles he could that would pay him, and then he could just like, pay whatever he had to pay to kind of break even at that point, and then that's how he kind of built his not only like filmography up, but also like how he paid his bills and stuff. And I thought that that was really admirable.
Yeah.
And it also
I mean,
explains a lot about like some of the roles that he has taken.
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jeremy kind of touched on that before, where he said that only the elite 1% is comfortable in Hollywood. Everybody else is
Right.
struggling paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
But another recent role with Nicolas Cage, let's see. He's been in a lot recently.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's also gaining that like popularity for being because he seems very genuine. So I think a lot of actors who seem genuine tend to be picking up, speed at this point right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
Dream Scenario was another one that was like way out in left field for Nick Cage and made very little sense to me. Like the concept started off good, but then there was no real ending to it. Like it didn't explain anything. It just was there and dropped off. So like, and I don't even think there's a sequel to explain anything. So we're just left wondering what the fuck we just watched and why.
Like that's an hour of my life gone.
2 hours and some change, I think, actually. But
I don't. I
again,
didn't see it.
I get parts of it. It seemed like a unique idea to run with, but then they didn't run anywhere with it. It just hit a wall.
Got lost in the sauce there a little bit.
It got lost in translation.
Yes,
Eternal
lost in
sunshine
translation.
of this beautiful, spotless mind shit. Like, what the fuck? And I'm a Nick Cage fan. Like, I don't even care that they want to hate on Wicker Man because I liked him in that, especially when I'd laugh my ass off at him screaming about the bees. Oh,
Yeah,
the bees! No, not the bees! Ah, ah.
he's definitely a phenomenal actor, and
I agree.
he certainly has a ginormous filmography and just everything that he's been involved with. And so I think you forget too some of the films that he's done, like Raising Arizona. I mean, that's a really good one.
I love
That he
that
did,
one.
right? It's a phenomenal film that he did earlier in his career, and you know, sadly, you know, we lost David Lynch not too long ago, and he did Wild at Heart with Laura Dern, and I mean, he really is accomplished. I loved it. You know what else I loved Nicolas Cage in was in Kick-Ass, the original the Kick-Ass movie. Like he was a great.
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember
think one of my
Kick-Ass,
favorites
honestly.
by him. I think one of my favorites by him was "It Could Happen to You"
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
Bridget Fonda
I think
and
yes,
Rosie
I think so.
Perez.
Mhm.
Oh, I love
love
Rosie
that
Perez.
movie.
She's so stinking cute.
Oh yeah, and she's like a
I
waitress, right?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, because I was little when that movie came out. When I was younger, my mom used to ask me what I wanted to be, and I would tell her I wanted to be a waitress just so I could meet a cop that would win the lottery and give me half of it as a tip.
Oh, but that's sweet. That's cute.
That's funny.
It never happened though.
Shamefully
It
enough.
crushed my little childhood dreams because it never happened. And there is no way possible I personally could ever make that happen. So it is beyond my control.
Yeah.
But Lord knows I was giving it my best foot forward.
Did you ever actually wait tables?
No, it sounded
Huh?
good, but no.
Oh yeah, no, me either.
No.
Because
I
think
actually
that sounds horrible.
my first job was as a games cashier working for Trimpers on the Ocean City Boardwalk in Maryland.
Oh, cool.
And then after that, it was the movie theater that you and I worked at together.
Yeah.
And then it was a long list between here and there. So we won't. I don't want to be the job whore or anything, but there's been a lot. There's been a lot that came and went.
It's your workography, if you will.
Workography, man.
Like filmography,
Or
but it's your workography.
or lack thereof. It was more like, I don't like you. You're a shitty boss. Bye.
I actually stuck it out with some pretty terrible bosses, and it's paid me well in the long run. Paid off well. Not paid me well, but paid off well in the long run.
Again,
wish it
they
paid
call
me
me
well.
rebel for a reason. I don't follow rules, and I don't play well with others.
Just deal with it. Yeah, just kind of deal with it. It's fine.
Oh yeah, this coming from our corporate princess over here. I sit in my nice cushy office and I push my buttons on the computer and I do the
It's
payroll.
not cushy at all. I do the payroll. Thank you very much. Some lady called me today and was like, "Are you in charge of the payroll department?" And I was like, "Not really."
I could be for the right price. How much you gonna pay me?
No.
How much you gonna pay me for that payroll, huh?
And then I helped her, and it was a great day. Just kidding. It
Yes.
was a crazy day, but that's what I do.
You
Yeah.
thrive in chaos.
Yeah.
The
Thankfully.
name's fitting.
Thankfully, because this week has been crazy with that. Like, it's been a lot. Anyways, so is there a genre of movie that you would prefer to work in? So I know you've done horror, but like, would
Is
you
that,
stick
like, your
with just
preferred-
horror? Like, what would you prefer
that-
to do?
Yeah, so horror definitely is topmost for me. That's been most of the films that I've been involved with, or am going to be involved with. you know, I think especially with like Killer Pizza coming up, one thing to kind of like throw a little spotlight on Buffalo is I don't think people realize how many horror films or maybe lesser known horror films have been filmed in the Buffalo area throughout the years. The Burning was shot here, Shadow Creature, Lady in White. So it's kind of cool that there's going to be another one around here. So I think that's where horror films, I definitely have an affinity for that. I also do like drama, of course. So I mentioned Kansas Bowling earlier, and I'm working with her and producing a film that she's coming out with, which is a true crime thriller that she wrote and is directing. And really excited to be part of that with her. So yeah, I would say between horror and certainly drama or thrillers, I guess you could say, that's more where my heart lies. But there's really no genre of film that I dislike or that I wouldn't want to be involved with.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like horror has like there's so many different aspects to it, and it's kind of like a multi-layer. We're gonna go back to the onions, Rebel. It's like a multi-layer thing. So there's like so much you can do in the horror field that I feel
Yeah.
like it kind of incorporates all of the things because you can have action, you can have drama, you can even have romance if you really want to. Like you can have all kinds of those things and still keep it within the horror world, and I love that about horror.
Yeah.
I'm also a huge fan of campy horror films, so you can have like a terrible horror film, and I'm totally gonna watch it,
Same.
and I'm probably gonna love it.
I'm the same too.
Yeah,
I like cheesy B movies. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
such a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
So when we were talking to Josh, when we were talking about Killer Pizza, I think I said this on camera. I'm not sure, um, but it's exciting because the idea of it, as he was explaining it, I was like, it feels like it's going to be one of those like cult classic movies,
Hmm.
and I love a good cult classic movie because they're so unique and they have just like such this like different energy about them as opposed to like the bigger shot like horror movies and stuff. And I'm so excited to watch Killer Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
why I'm
wish it would hurry up
excited.
and come out.
Yeah, I know. Like it, and that's I think that's where it's making me more excited too. To the fact that you've been having guests, including me, and are going to be having more that are tied to the movie. I am really excited about that. It is making me wish that it would get here sooner, and I'm really bad about that. Like I'm a patient person, but I also like pine away for those
Mhm.
moments to be there. And I mentioned earlier about just liking being involved with good people. Like I want to work with good people, and no matter what I
Absolutely.
and it's cool because I know Anthony and Mandy through social media. As I said, I haven't met them in person, but that's maybe the thing that I'm most looking forward to is just being on sets and getting to finally be together with people that through social media. But now here you are going to be in person together, and you have a chance to collaborate.
Yeah. I think it's cool, and it's interesting, I think, on this side of it too, because we actually get to like we kind of have like the unique opportunity to talk to everybody about it.
Mhm.
So we get to kind of not only meet you guys for ourselves, but also kind of share you with our audience on like build up like these are the people that you're going to see in this movie. Come and watch it. It's going to be really fun. You know what I mean? So
But we also get to
so excited.
showcase the people behind the spotlights.
Yeah.
Actually, at this point, I think we're interviewing enough of the cast of Killer Pizza to be on payroll.
Yeah.
Maybe part
Hint,
owner.
hint.
Maybe part owner. Matter of
Uh,
fact, the owner is going to be on our show at the end of this month. So I'm going to bring that up to him and be like, hey, I want to be part owner, buddy. I'm like, we're your personal publicity.
You should champion that cause. Champion
well,
that cause for
it's
sure.
also mutually beneficial too. So, we get all these people, the whole cast of Killer Pizza on our show, and we can put that out there, and everybody will get, attention. So,
I mean, we could totally change our show to Killer Chaos at this point.
Well,
Because,
try
I
again
mean, we're
pizza.
basically Killer Pizza for like 6 weeks.
and to your point though, I mean, I do think that that's one of the great things about your platform too, is that people do like all right, we all know you see a movie and how the story is portrayed to you and what the acting looks like and everything like that. But I think each of us that really loves movies and really loves filmmaking is you want to know what it's like behind the scenes, and you want to know how the person is as a real person. Like, what are they like in their personal life, and what would they be like if you had a beer with them or met with them for a cup of coffee? And the fact that you're doing this with so many of our cast members, and you're going to have Anthony on later, I think people will find that it particularly interesting, that as we gear up towards this movie, well, what is the cast like? What is the crew like? What are these people like in real life, and what do they bring to the table? And I think it just adds that fanfare and that excitement to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one of the good things about us, we have a mix of well-known people as well as up and coming, you know.
Yeah.
So we're not just all about the clout chasers and who's got the most followers, or
We don't care.
who's got the biggest name in the business. Like, you know, if you can make a good conversation with us for an hour, we'll have you on the show. You know, we don't care who you are or what you do. I mean, I'm actually working on getting an adventurer on the show. He's pretty well known, but he's well known for overcoming the odds due to a medical diagnosis. So I don't want to give too much away because, you know, that's his business, not mine. But I'm working on getting him on the show. Another one that we're trying to get on the show is like survivalists. You know, the extreme survivalists that want to teach survival tactics for, you know, life altering situations. And we have homesteaders that we're working on signing so they can teach people how to live off grid if they, you know, choose to go that route, and, you know, want to doomsday prep and things like that. We're not just one thing. You know, we're not just actors, we're not just movies, we're not just this. Like, we have directors, we have filmmakers, we have videographers, we have celebrity actors, we have ghost hunters, we have haunted location owners, and, you know, different people throughout the industries of entertainment.
Yeah,
so
I think that that's a credit to both of you and your show, is that, you know, I was talking earlier about, you know, just kindness and being kind, but I think a huge part of life, because it's certainly opened doors for me. It definitely did with Catnip. It definitely has with Killer Pizza, any of the film projects that I'm involved with, and really any aspect of my life. When I think about it, is just life is about connection. And people, you know, they might forget what you said to them or what you showed them, but nobody forgets how you made them feel. And when you make those connections and you develop that mutual respect and a comfort level with somebody, it could pay you dividends later on down the line. And I'm certainly not speaking monetarily. I'm just talking about what other opportunities could present themselves to you, what doors could be open just because you treated somebody kindly, you gave them the time of day, you developed a rapport with them, and you made that connection. It certainly has worked wonders in my own life, and I think it does really for anybody if you allow it that chance.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And
yeah.
so kind of the goal with this, at least for me, I obviously can't speak for Rebel, but with me, it was more just like making those connections for other people as well. So like not everybody has the opportunity to have these conversations. So if we can share this with the world, it's like shedding light on exactly what you said, like the cast and crew of certain, you know, films, or even just like the entertainment in general, like the entertainment business. It's for me, it's humanizing those people. So I hate nothing more than when people look at a celebrity or a director or whatever, and they have all these huge like uh reactions. Now obviously Tim Curry for me. But like they're just people. Like you're working in film, it's your job. Like of course it's going to be like well known, you know, to a certain point you reach a certain level and it's you're going to be well known.
Yeah.
But I think like being able to humanize people on that level is just so important, and just being able to kind of have people see who the real person is behind the art.
Yeah. I would touch upon I have two thoughts in response to what you said. I think one, you know, we talked about Chevy Chase earlier, but I think that was one thing that he really did enjoy about Catnip, is that nobody we just treated him as a person, right? And I
Exactly.
think that's a lot of what actors and actresses they're looking for. We had another great person that was on set for that. That was part of our cast, was Jeffrey Arend, and he same sort of thing. Like we had a real conversation about where he grew up and where he went to school, and you just talk like a normal person, just treat people the way that
Yeah.
you would want to be treated. And then tying into that, I mean, neither of you should sell yourselves short in that if there weren't platforms like this, there wouldn't be opportunities for those people that you just named, that you're trying to help them make connections and help put, somewhat of a spotlight upon them. So I would hope that you recognize the importance and appreciate the importance of your roles in this and that part to it, because like I said, it would be non-existent if there weren't platforms and shows like this. So it's very valuable and much appreciated, and appreciate for you having me on here.
Yeah.
Well, we also like to give back to the communities that serve us, because we're only as good as our audience, right?
Sure.
So if we're not putting everyday people on our show and we're only going after clout chasers, that's not people that you can relate to on everyday levels. They have a completely different set of struggles than we do. Most of us are middle class, white
Mhm.
collar, blue collar, living paycheck to paycheck, raising kids,
Mhm.
barely getting by, barely able to make ends meet. And, people that are famous have a whole different set of problems. They got to worry about how
Right.
this person's getting paid and how much this tax bill is going to be. And, having to show
Mhm.
up for this concert when they're feeling sick as a dog. And, oh God, this scandal came out because I farted and it smelled funny and
Back
somebody
with the
took a
fart.
picture of it. Like, they have a whole different set of problems that everyday
Right.
people can't relate to.
Right.
So
Well, and
they're not.
it's very genuine, I think, to run on this platform, and exactly what you
Yes.
just said. Like, it's taking that time to, like, be a genuine person and talk to just everybody. Everyone is important, and I think it's important for everybody to see that, and that we're
Yeah.
all equal. It's just a matter of what we're doing with our time and how we're spending it.
Not to
And
mention, I mean, a lot of the people that we're interviewing aren't well known right now, but that's not to say they won't be.
Right.
Who's to say that we don't get that one exec that happens to watch our show one day and
Right.
discover somebody on it?
It's like, "Oh, I saw
They're
Nate
like,
in
oh,
this
I just
show.
have to have that guy.
Yeah. I
right.
should probably reach out
I
to
mean,
Nate."
we're also working,
Right.
we're bouncing around ideas for charity organizations. We're thinking about doing like a toy drive and canned food drive to help out the food banks, and
Yeah.
maybe doing raffles to raise money for the animal shelters or like the children's research hospitals. We want to give back. We don't just want to take.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Exactly.
Yeah, it's you bring up many good, wonderful points there, and certainly just that concept of what can you do for others. And usually, I mean, you definitely need to have the mindset and the understanding for it. But I can think of, I mean, we all can think of the times when we went the extra mile for somebody else and inadvertently, not expecting it, it did open a door for us, or
Yep.
at the very least, it pulled upon your heartstrings and made your day.
Right.
And I don't think that can ever be underrated. To I don't know how you'd put it, but the importance of that, what you can do for others, and how it makes you feel inside, sometimes it gets overlooked.
I agree. I agree.
I definitely want to thank you for joining us today. And we are almost out of time, but I did promise Anthony that we would promote Killer Pizza if we haven't already. Why don't you tell the audience what you guys have going on with the Indiegogo fund for that?
Yeah, so that's actually how I got involved in it, is through Anthony and Mandy Caimano's Indiegogo for Killer Pizza. If you go to Indiegogo and you look it up, Killer Pizza, you can just type it right into the search. There's a wide variety of exciting options on there for perks. If you're looking for something to have that's tangible, or you'd like to be involved in the film, and you could be just like me. I mean, I really stepped out of my comfort zone with it. I got in contact with Anthony and I said, I'd like to do this. It's new for me, but I'll give you my darndest. I'll always do my very best. And hit it off right with him right from the get-go. Both he and his wife Mandy are just really good, kind people. They communicate regularly with everybody involved with their films. They're constantly wanting to promote, and it's nice too, as I had mentioned before, that it's going to be right in my own backyard in the Western New York area around Buffalo and Rochester. But it's important to work with good people, and they're definitely good people. There's a lot of awesome people that are tied to the film as well too. Nancy Ann Ritter had a role in Scream. She's involved with this project. For those that are horror movie fans, Walter Phelan has done work with X-Files and From Dusk Till Dawn, House of a Thousand Corpses. So if you're looking to connect with people that have already established themselves in the horror genre, this is a great opportunity to do so. And don't hesitate to put your foot out there. They've been wonderful for me. I can't wait to get to set and have an opportunity to work with them. It's coming up sooner than you think. And I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I would hope, I think Stella mentioned it earlier, that maybe it does become a cult classic. I mean, that would certainly be the hope. But regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be really enjoyable for everyone involved and everybody who spectates.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure all 6,000 of my followers are watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's closer to 7,000 now. I mean, I have like
fancy pants
saw
over
that.
here.
I
Yeah,
have
I
a little
saw
over 1,000 on my chaos page, and then my actual page has almost 6,000. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
That is a lot of people. That is a lot of people, and you should be proud of it. It's awesome.
Toot toot.
Beep beep.
Wow.
All right. Stella, do you want to leave us a final note about our merch store? And then we are out.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, you can totally check out our merch store. It is on Printful. It is thrivinginchaos.printful.me. And then we're also now on Spotify. Our first 7 episodes are up as a podcast. So please, if you enjoy our show, please like, share, subscribe, all of that jazz on Spotify as well.
And if you're somebody who's interested in being a guest on the show, hit me up. We have a fan email at thrivinginchaostv@gmail.com. Like, comment, subscribe.
All that
Send
jazz.
me fan mail, send me email. Hell, send me email and I'll even let you stalk me. I don't care.
You could be on the other side this time.
If anybody, hint, if anybody needs my address for paparazzi purposes, let me know. No, I'm just kidding. And on that note,